right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Four Pickup Show where we talk about everything from family, friends, love, finances, everything in between. We're picking up topics that feel relevant to us. And so today we're talking about confessing your pettiest moment. Dwayne.
Well, I don't confessing my pettiest moment. Probably is not appropriate, but out on the internet. However, like I said, my number one goal is not to get canceled out here in these streets. But I do have some, but I'm not gonna go into like detail. But I remember going back and forth, or like someone was like trying to go back and forth with me about a situation about like not getting invited to something, and I went full petty mode. I didn't text back at all. I just started taking screenshots of everything in the past that we spoke about, including the original invitation that I gave them that they didn't show up to. And then they was like, "Why you didn't invite me to the next thing?" I said, "You didn't come to the first thing, so I don't invite you to the next thing." And we could probably. So I just have a philosophy here. If I invite you over or invite you to a party or anything, and you decide not to show up, if you're just like, I'm an introvert and I don't like leaving my house, I respect your boundaries and I don't
Stay
invite,
bound.
stay bounded in your home and I don't invite them again because I'm like, I just think it's disrespectful for me to invite you and then you just no show, no phone call, nothing. So I don't invite them again. Maybe that's super petty. Uh,
Sometimes we have circumstances, but you have your boundary. Stay bound to that.
yep. How about you?
Well, I had an
I
experience.
know a lot of your petty moments.
I'm gonna choose one that doesn't get me labeled as petty patty. Um,
Petty Pat Petty Patty is literally your nickname, but people don't even know you being petty sometimes. Petty Patty is what I call her all the time.
well, I was so a former friend of mine,
Former,
former friend,
you're a super petty.
yes, they voluntarily lied to me.
What's a
Like
voluntary lie? Is that different than a who?
it's different than a regular lie
Okay.
because you didn't have to lie. Like you preemptively lied. You're voluntarily lying.
Okay.
I might not have asked any probing questions. You
Yes.
just told, just say whatever you want to say, I guess.
So I voluntarily came to you and say it's raining outside. I didn't even ask you. It's about rain. Okay, got it. Okay, voluntarily.
Voluntarily lied.
Better than unintentionally lie. You voluntarily lie.
I mean, sometimes you can feel caught in a moment
Okay.
and then you're like, I gotta lie. Like, do you like how I look? Um, there are
Carry on.
parts of your outfit that are great.
Carry on.
Okay, back to the former friend.
Yes.
Okay, so the former friend voluntarily lied to me. And so after that, like, what can you say to me that I'm actually gonna believe? Like, I'm already in a state of you're not being honest,
Mhm.
right? And so they were trying to clean up the situation
Yeah.
and offering more information than necessary.
Yeah.
And then they were like, well, I mean, I'd really like to clear this up for you if you want to sit down and discuss further. And I was like, yeah, no, I have no further questions. And that's literally the last piece of
I don't
communication.
know if that's I don't know if that's being petty or you chose
Violence.
violence to the fullest. Just saying I have no further questions as someone is trying to explain the situation.
Mm, hence my
Petty
pettiest
patty.
moment.
Petty patty. Don't cross her, people. Don't
Oh.
cross her.
But given the situation that I just described,
Yeah.
I think this is a great segue into our pickup topic,
I pick up topic.
which is
I do a terrible job with that, with like
segments.
the segments. So can you talk me through
Okay.
so
So we start each episode with a pickup line. So it's like a quick fire
okay.
question, try to keep the answers nice and cute.
Okay.
And then we move into our pickup topic, which is what we're actually discussing on the episode.
Okay.
And then after our pickup topic comes what we're dropping. So kind of like an actual pickup truck, pickup truck.
Yeah.
We're
Okay.
picking up these
Okay.
topics and then we're dropping some
Like dropping
content
off. Okay. Okay.
or, dropping some knowledge. Sometimes maybe it's not content that exists on the internet or knowledge like a resource or something. And then we have our pull up shout out, like, okay. Yes. This is where we shout out.
Yeah.
We're endeavoring to focus on Black businesses and Black thought leaders,
Okay.
but sometimes we might mix it up because we're not monolithic,
No.
we're not one track minded. But the goal is for the pull up shout out to shout out Black entities
Okay.
that are related to the topic, and then we close out.
Thank you for the breakdown of that. I mess up every time, so I will do a better job.
This is why there's two of us.
Yes,
Yep.
2 is better than 1, so they say.
I don't know. Some people are better.
I know, you're right. It's better by substance. Alright, I'm sorry. Go back to your pickup topic.
The,
Stay
the
back.
pickup topic
Yes.
is is petty an actual communication skill now?
Back in 2026, this is
Like in 2026, is petty than you think? Because for real, like I love Wendy's account because there's nobody pettier than Wendy's.
Twitter Wendy's? Like
Yeah, like the restaurant
okay,
Wendy's.
okay, okay.
Like they have mastered petty. And I love that for them, and I love engaging in it. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I follow Wendy
Because of the pettiness?
because of how petty she is.
Does the pettiness come off as negative? Like, isn't petty usually, like, more negative than
So,
positive?
I'm glad you asked that because to frame this conversation, the definition of petty is of little importance or spiteful.
Okay.
So, with that being said, I do think that online right now, being petty is celebrated, and as much as I enjoy the tea,
Wow.
I recognize though that if you do something enough, it becomes a habit. And when it becomes a habit, it becomes how you present, it becomes who you are, it becomes like second nature. And I
Right.
think um the internet has allowed pettiness to thrive. And I wonder if people are bringing that into their real life, into their relationships,
Yeah.
be it romantic or just friendships or your relationship with your parents. Like, are we bringing
Yeah.
is petty now how we communicate?
I think I think it's really interesting. I hope people are not bringing pettiness in their marriage or in their relationships because that will also be seen as like stonewalling, which like if we have conflict and I'm in the wrong, like I'm just in the wrong, but you decide to take the stonewalling slash petty angle, we will never be able to like really reconcile. So I hope people not doing that in like relationships. And I also think like with the internet, I think the internet is a weird place, but like it's easy for me to be petty on the internet because this is not like a real relationship. This is like a random person with a crazy like looking icon and emoji, and I'm just interacting with strangers. So I could be super petty with that. Like it's someone online, like every time they say something crazy, like they'd be like, "Oh, I hate all these woke people, da da da," and she would like go into their profile and she would like look up their name and find out like they on like some kind of sex offender list or they like did something crazy, and she would like to be super petty and would like
Put it up
post their
there.
mugshot and be like, "This you talking about you want criminals to be away." So I mean, things like that is cool, but so I hope people. That's an interesting thing what you said, but I hope people are not bringing like that level of petty into like their relationships that they want or should have in their life. I think once you reach that petty stage, you at like, I don't respect or want this relationship.
Mm, the respect part is real. I don't know, but is it a lack of respect or is it strength in your self-respect? Like, I'm not gonna let you come at me and I'm not gonna let you talk crazy to me um in this moment. Like, you're wrong and I'm okay with presenting the receipts, whether it hurts your feelings or not.
Okay, I mean, I think that's more like we're communicating at that point, right? I don't know if that's petty. That's like, "Hey, I asked you to do X," and you come back and say, "Well, you didn't do X," and I'm like, "Well, here's the receipt of me asking you to do X." I think it's more like I don't know if that's petty or just like, "Here are the facts of what's happening here."
Mm.
I think when people go petty, it's like it's hard to fix it because I just see petty as like a how you if I say, "Hey, love, I'm sorry," and you decide to be petty and not text back, or if I'm just like if I try to touch you and be like,
Mhm.
"Hey, like, I'm sorry about that." You be like, "Don't touch me. You should have keep that same energy." And you be like, "I'm
Mm.
sorry, but you're being because you're being petty, it's stonewalling. It's hard for us to now fix an issue." But if it's someone who you like don't bang with anymore or you don't see the value in something, like, be petty as you wanna be. And that's why I say, like, on the internet, it's easy to be petty to these strangers.
So you're saying that you should train yourself to be able to know when to choose violence?
Yes, because I believe when you start doing the pettiness, is when we're starting to set boundaries. So, y you assess the situation, you spoke to the person, you probably spoke to them in a respectable way. Before you get to that petty part, now you have to set your boundaries. You keep texting me, you keep calling me, you keep reaching out. I don't want you to reach out to me anymore. Imma start being petty, and then hopefully the person will get the hint. Like, if I was having a birthday party and I just didn't invite you, like, went out my way to not invite you,
Okay.
you might see that. That would be kinda petty, but I'm letting you know moving forward, I really don't want you in my circle.
So we've established kind of like that the online pettiness is I wouldn't even call it clickbait. Like it's banter and sometimes it could be playful, sometimes it could be hurtful, but it's online and like, you know,
Mhm.
not that that's not real life, but it's online, whatever. How do you stop yourself from being petty in a relationship? Because I have um people in my life who I think when they get into conflict, they go for blood. Like they go for blood every
Yeah,
time. And it's not a lack of love. Like it's like
yeah.
they
Like
love
like anger problems type of thing, or
maybe not anger problems, but they just I guess are innately competitive.
like,
So
I will win.
so even with their loved ones, they still love their loved ones and they want to maintain the relationship, but they have a hard time overcoming the urge to be petty, to like for example,
Mm,
I'm gonna use a funnier example. I hope it's funnier. A funnier example, but like I'm gonna put my husband out there a little bit and he's gonna love me when we're done with this. Dwayne has a really bad habit, America. He takes his socks off
here we go.
anywhere he wants to in the house and leaves them there. And I used to get frustrated and clean it up, and at first it was cute when we were married, it was like, "Oh, his socks." Now it's like, "Yo, get your socks."
Yeah,
But after years of trying to curve this behavior,
okay.
I now will let the socks pile up wherever like, low key, I feel like it's petty. If I sweep around the socks,
Yeah,
move the socks to sweep under the socks and put them back, we said we were confessing this episode.
okay, sure.
It's petty of me not to take
Yes.
off the socks
Okay,
and to work around the socks and leave them there when we know they don't belong there.
okay.
So,
But
I feel
is
like
that petty to you? Or
I
is
feel
that setting boundaries of, "I'm not your housekeeper, I'm not gonna be here picking up your socks all the
we're
time." Yeah, but
disgusting.
that's what I'm saying, I think it's more like boundary setting is or
But sometimes, to my point, so here's where the question that I'm pitching to you is coming. That's a clear, like, Dwayne, enough is enough, and I'm just letting you in your socks. You
Yeah.
can't do your socks.
Get buried under my socks.
But
It's bad. Sometimes when I see, like, 8 pairs of socks, I'm like, "Who did this? Who did" Notice, "Oh, that's all my socks." Like, and Simba would, like, Simba's our dog, and he would, like, pile all the socks in one pile and just lay on the socks. 'cause it's like a bad now it's really
It's
bad. And I
crazy.
have it's so bad. It's so
So,
bad. It's bad. But go ahead.
but that's a situation, right? That's a
Yeah.
situation where I can and also an environment where I can just be like, "I'm not doing this anymore. My boundary is I don't wanna be upset about this. I don't wanna argue about
Mhm,
this anymore."
mhm.
Fine. But I feel like sometimes people take that same approach in conversation. Like, what am I going to say to win this
Yeah,
conversation? And
yeah.
so what I'm asking you is, what do you think what are some of your own tools that you might be using to not be petty to me when you can be? Because it's really important. I think, like you said, you have to decide the value of the relationship and decide how you want the relationship to move forward. And sometimes pettiness is what gives you the space to end relationships that you know need to end
Yes,
or end,
yes.
like
Well, set boundaries in there.
yeah, or set boundaries in them. So what I'm saying is with me, like I'm your whole spouse,
Mhm.
us being petty to each other every day will erode our relationship.
Absolutely.
So, how do you stop yourself from being petty to me? Like, how do you not throw receipts in my face?
Yeah, that's a good point, and I understand what you're saying there, and, like, as far as, like, my pettiness, I try my best not to be petty to you because I don't see, like, the value of that. It could be little things like I'm gonna purposely not wash your car because I asked you to stop by the car wash 6 times and I pay monthly for it to stop by the car wash, right? That's little stuff. But as far as like real relationship and things that has an impact, if I feel like something's really bothering me, or causing me to like look at you a type of way, I don't think being petty is ever the answer. I think it's not a effective communicative skill. Because if two people decide to be petty, like I say, it's called like stonewalling. And then if the person is not emotionally receptive of any of my efforts to fix it, so if I'm trying and you just continue to be petty, it's just gonna lead to resentment. So
Mhm,
I try to buy you flowers. I try to go out to dinner with you. I try to tell you a joke. I do all these things, and it's studies showing, I forgot the name, I could look it up later. But it's studies showing like in arguments and disagreements, it's usually like 5 to 1 on like gestures, like stuff like touch or smiling or a joke, even in the middle of an argument. But in like bad relationships, it's 1 to 1, right? So it's like it's just back and forth, just
mhm,
petty, 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 petty. Say
mhm,
something more hurtful than the next, and then people just keep going up. No one is trying to like fix the situation. So um yeah, so I don't see petty as being helpful in
mhm.
my marriage, in my friendships, or any relationship that I want to have. Like I
But
think
how do
see the
you
bigger picture.
not be petty? I think that's what I'm trying to get at. Like, how can we help somebody who knows deep down that they're petty or somebody who does not even aware that they're being petty? How do we help that person?
Well, I think
So,
I think with a lot of things for like project management or things, it's usually it's I'm not saying my marriage is a project here, so excuse that. But just best example I could use at the moment. With project management is always is a trick of working backwards, right? So what's the end game here? If the end game here is to be happy and go to brunch or lunch or dinner with my spouse, I have to then work in reverse on like how I get there. And I think if you ever do that with any relationship, I doubt at any point you going backwards to fix something and to get to let's go on vacation together, let's travel, let's have lunch together. I doubt working backwards being petty is ever a part of that. So I think it's more like what's the bigger picture here, what we're trying to get to, and what's the best path forward to get into that instead of like, let me get out of my um feelings at the moment. And emotion and feelings are is good. And it's good to know where that's coming from. But at the end of the day, what is the goal here? And I think if you think like that, well, that's how I think. It's very hard for me to be petty to the people who I want to keep around in my life.
that's good.
Is it?
No, I like what you said. I think, like, practical, like, everyday tools for that, I think
Yeah.
is, like, if if a point comes to your mind that you think will drive your point home, but will drive the person away, then that's petty. Don't share it. Like, everything that you say can be honest because can be honest, but if how you're delivering that honesty is gonna push that person away more than it's going to draw resolution, then I think in that moment, you have to be like, "You know what? It's better that I don't say that." Reframe it or just don't say it at all.
Yeah.
Um, I think the other part of, I guess, petty or even what you're saying is, like, me not being honest in my truth, or me not setting the boundary even with my significant other, like, that you don't get a pass on steamrolling me because you're my husband, like,
No.
so,
No.
if I have to go petty, I should be able to, like, well, no, um, you actually don't. You can still speak up for yourself in a way, like I said, that drives the point home, but doesn't drive the person away, and I think that should always be the focus, like, am I ostracizing myself from this person when I make this comment?
But and yes, and you said something really good there, and that I think we need to touch on. Before people go petty or really be petty, it's usually a reason, right? So if you are consistently communicating to me, like let's say the socks thing was like a real thing, like cause a mental toll on you and stuff like that, and I refuse to adjust, it's a deeper issue. So it's like usually pettiness can be justified on it. So it's like you said about the whole steamroll thing,
Mhm.
but it's like you need to think about like, is this relationship that important? And if you feel like you need to get to a petty if you feel like it's time to get petty, it might be some deeper issues going on there. Because you don't be petty for well, I hope you're not just being petty to be petty, right? Just petty for no reason, especially with someone who you love or relationship or friendship or your parents. Like, I hope you're just not being petty just to be petty. I hope it's like I keep trying to communicate this thing and this person just continue to not respect my boundaries, not listening, or they're just doing their own thing.
Yeah,
So I'm choosing violence. I'm going petty.
because I need to end this.
Yes, and that's why on social media it's easy to be petty. Cause I don't know you. Who are you in my comment section? Who are you talking about these people like this?
Yeah.
I don't know you. Then you go super petty. So so just be like, hey, this is my daughter, her first day of school. And you're like, oh my gosh, she's so cute. And some jerk is just like, ill. Look at that hairstyle. Then everyone's gonna be like, then people gonna start looking up your daughter, looking up your wife, and then screenshot it, and it come off as like petty, but it's like just choose a balance. Like you
Yeah.
use out of pocket,
Yeah.
disrespectful. Talk about that little girl. No comment sections be disrespectful. My goodness.
Today, this is coming out in August, so, people are back to school, and I'm hoping that, the comment sections stay nice and supportive of all our kids on their first days back.
It does.
So, that brings us to what we're dropping today.
Okay.
So, what we're dropping today is a book called Fierce Conversations by Susan Scott, and it just is a book that explains how to fight fair verbally. And so, even if you don't have all the tools or we didn't give enough tools in this segment, it's a book that you could pick up to learn how to have hard conversations.
Can I drop something? I'm gonna look at my phone quick. I have to get this off there because I feel bad for not remembering where I got that 5-to-1 ratio thing from in the book. But okay, yes, his name is John Gottman. And he wrote a book just on marriage and the principle of marriage. And I think I read that book a long time ago. I don't know if it's still useful. But he talked about that whole stonewalling and being emotional receptive to your partner. So if you get an opportunity to read that for communicating to your person, try that out. Check that out.
Thank you. So, it's time for our pull up shout out.
Shout out.
And I would like to shout out an old friend of ours called Bana Busari.
Hold on, Bana Bana?
Bana.
What?
And I'm shouting her out because she is a licensed psychotherapist, and Bana has been putting out amazing content,
Yes. See,
especially in the last year. Not that it was not amazing before, but
it was for anything else. I know it's early I see.
yeah, it's sincerely intentional or the last year about mental health, about standing up for yourself, about taking care of yourself, about drawing boundaries, about like respecting your feelings. But in order to do that for yourself, you have to also make space to do that for others. And so she's been putting out incredible content on how to do that. And so I'd like to shout her out today. And she's connected to pettiness because, as we discovered in our conversation,
Were you fed to Bana?
no,
What?
she is not the former friend.
Say, I love Bana. Don't do that.
But the reason why I would like to shout her out in this particular conversation is because, as you stated and I stated kind of during the course of this conversation, sometimes petty is used to draw boundaries. Petty is used to protect yourself. Um, and she talks about doing that in a healthy way. So she is by definition trying to help us be unpetty.
Okay.
And so
Well, yeah, shout out
I'm
to
shouting her
Bana.
out.
And shout out to us too.
Okay.
I just want to say we up to like our subscription or subscribers is
Yeah.
going up. So thank y'all for those who've been subscribing and commenting and texting us. Really appreciate the feedback.
Yeah.
It is really encouraging for us to like keep going because sometimes we putting this out there in the universe and we have no idea
How it's gonna land.
how it's gonna land. So when people like say like follow us or subscribe, I think it's really dope. It's really dope. And hopefully we could pin like Bana page and stuff as well.
I'm sure our editors will figure it out.
We have editors.
We do. So, in any case, guys, thanks for joining us again for today's episode of the Ford Pickup Show. If you have ever gone petty on someone you love, subscribe, maybe comment your pettiest moment, and we'll catch you guys in 2 weeks. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.